mentioned or missing?
Absolutely. Look, we have a great team on the committee that's reviewing right now every single document, going through all the files that are available to the public, looking at redactions, trying to understand and piecing together an investigation. And it's not just the documents. We're interviewing survivors. We're talking to key witnesses.
Right.
We're going to be holding hearings in the future as well. So all of that is part of this. But at the end of the day, they have not given us all the documents. So until we actually get the full set of files, this is not going to be a complete investigation. And the cover-up that's being led by the White House and Pam Bondi is continuing. And the American public see this. And so they need to release all of the files.
All right. Well, working with what you've got so far, what are you looking for specifically? Are there names? Are there events? Are there situations to clarify that they've been released or that they're out there? What is it you're looking for?
Look, there's a variety of things. I think number one is we want to ensure that all of the names of the men that either were co-conspirators, those that themselves terrorized and brutalized women and children, those people need to be exposed. That work has begun. An additional piece of this is who was financing Jeffrey Epstein. So for example, this upcoming week we'll be interviewing Les Wexner, who would likely have been the single largest benefactor and providing financial support to Jeffrey Epstein. Where did he get all of his money and for what? And where was that money going? That is another critical part of this investigation. We've subpoenaed also the bank records. So we're going through all those, and that information is critical to our investigation. And then, of course, is who was involved in the trafficking of girls and women. It wasn't just Ghislaine Maxwell. Why were there so many women being attacked in places across the country, whether it was New York, but also Palm Beach? You look at Mar-a-Lago. Why was Mar-a-Lago a location where women continue to be trafficked from? So these are questions that we need to ask. We have questions for President Trump. And I think the broader issue here is why wasn't this investigated when these accusations and these stories actually were heard by the FBI years ago? Where was the investigation? Where was the DOJ? And this, by the way, is an issue not just in Republican administrations,
right,
but also ones led by Democrats. We have to get answers.
You mentioned Wexner, who you're interviewing this coming week. Have you heard back yet from the man formerly known as Prince Andrew?
We have not, but we absolutely have sent letters. We want to actually talk to Prince Andrew, and it's not just Prince Andrew, former Prince Andrew.
Right.
I mean, what's happening right now across, over in the UK is pretty stunning, and it's actually a show of what happens when the government listens to the public. There are actually things happening to those that have been involved. That example that's happening over there in other parts of the world needs to happen in our country. And the fact that the White House continues to cover up for these files and for these men, I think is shameful. Release all the files today. And the last thing, they keep claiming that, oh, well, there's some attorney-client privilege, or there's interagency communication we can't put out to the public. That might be true in the Epstein Transparency Act, but it is not true in the subpoena that asked for the exact same documents that was passed last July and August. And so there is no reason why Congress shouldn't have all of the documents in front of us right now.
Let me ask you about a few more specific names. I've heard about the cover-up that you're alleging by the White House. Let's work through some of these names. Peter Mandelson, the former British ambassador to the U.S. You heard back from him yet?
We have not, but we absolutely want to talk to him. I mean,
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. He had said in an interview last year he hadn't seen Howard Lutnick in years. Turns out he went to see his island off the U.S. Virgin Islands with his family back in 2012, and he had business interests with him in 2014. Are you working with Republican Chairman Jim Comer to bring Howard Lutnick in for questioning?
We have asked Chairman Comer to bring in Howard Lutnick, and we have yet had no response. Not only did he visit the island, he had tons of communication with Jeffrey Epstein after it was already known that Jeffrey Epstein was essentially convicted for preying on children. So it is shameful that he's actually in our government. He should not be the Commerce Secretary. He should come talk to the Oversight Committee.
The Oversight Committee also voted last month to hold Bill and Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress for failing to show up for similar testimony. They're now scheduled to appear later this month for closed-door testimony. What's the point of having them come in?
Look, we've said from day one that we're willing to talk to anybody, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, whoever they are, how powerful they are. If you have information about Jeffrey Epstein, we want to talk to you. We've been saying that about President Clinton for a while. I'm glad that he's coming in. Look, the one thing I'll say is I think both President Clinton and Secretary Clinton have also added that they would like those hearings to be public. That's something that we absolutely support. We have questions for President Clinton. We'll be asking those in New York in the weeks ahead, as you know. But there's a lot of people that we need to speak with. And the more that we can have these conversations in public, I think it's better for the American people. It's what they want to see. And they want to understand what was the truth about Epstein, who he knew, where he got his money from, and why has there been a constant focus on covering up his crimes by so many in government.
Congressman Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, thank you for spending part of Sunday with us.